Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kamal Rani, and I wrote this little talk in dedication to the young man that was lynched in the streets of Delhi last night, and it broke my heart. I was up most of the night praying for all of you who suffer. So, if I screw this up, I'm not really good at speaking, but I love all of you, and I love God. I love Allah. So, with His grace, we'll get through this together. While good people hide in their homes for fear of this well-programmed sickness called COVID, the thugs of the world everywhere are taking advantage of the opportunity to take power, prey on the poor, and create murder and mayhem in the name of whatever God they favor. Using the name of God while committing horrendous crimes against innocent men, women, and children is the worst blasphemy against the great Creator consciousness who created all souls. All of humanity is one great congregate soul. We are all one. The truth is one. And the first steps towards enlightened self-realization is to honor all beings with the same reverence that we would honor God Himself, herself, if we were to come deeply into that divine presence. Christ, who I know very well, commanded in the Gospels that we were to love one another as He loved us. His love was so great, He died to express it fully, that we would know what that love was. It's a love of sacrifice, of surrender to the will of the one. Love one another does not mean love those that are like you and hate everyone who does not agree with you. He also commanded us to love our enemies as ourselves. And the Buddha and the Quran and all of the great teachings, the Gita, all of the teachings teach this. The Quran 5:32 states, "Whoever kills an innocent person, it is as if he has killed all of humanity." That's how serious a crime this is against the great consciousness, against the one who is called God, Yahweh, the Nam. There are many names. He has many, many names, but it's all the same Creator consciousness. The Buddha Nirvana Sutra states, by taking refuge in the precious Dharma, one's mind should be free from hurting or harming others. The great gurus of the Sikhs state, he who regards all men as equal is religious. The light of the Torah simply states, thou shalt not kill. Exodus 20:13. It does not qualify the statement to say, thou shalt not kill those who are a part of your community and have at it with the rest of the world. It also states, thou shalt not steal. Again, it does not qualify the statement with, it's okay to throw your neighbors out of their homes and steal their land as long as they serve a different religious form. And basically, that's what happened in 1945 when the West supported Israel in going in and militarily, literally stealing the homes, business, and lands of the Palestinian and throwing them out to live in horrible concentration camps. I have a friend, his name is Dr. Mustafa Abu Lisan, and he lives in London, and he was a Palestinian refugee as a child. He burned his hands, holding them over an open fire to keep warm. His hands were so cold he couldn't feel the flames. Over the ages, humanity's delusion that it is possible to own God and thus make your God superior to all gods has led to an excuse for murder and mayhem all over the globe. The murder and rape of innocent women and children have been a part of this violence everywhere. Terrorizing through acts of murder is commonplace and self-justified, and is often done in the name of the very God who has forbidden it. No religion is free of this taint, and no religion is above any other in either the truth or the distortions that have been created by humanity to corrupt that truth for the sake of material gain. Murder and mayhem, while crying, Jai Shri Ram, glory to Lord Rama, is the very same blasphemy as the cry of the jihadist crying Allahu Akbar as he leaves bloody innocents in his wake. In the Crusades, the rally cry of the Christians as they committed murder and mayhem was Deus Vult, which is Latin for God wills it. God wills no such thing, ever. The list goes on and on of one group after another using God as an excuse for injustice and the rape and murder of innocents all over the globe. 9/11 was yesterday. Several thousand innocent civilians in the United States. Oh, I hate it when that happens. My school bar gets ahead of me. Hang on a minute. I will be back. "9/11 was yesterday. Several thousand innocents were killed, and it was then used as an excuse to murder and maim several 100,000 innocents in Iraq and Afghanistan, the napalming of Fallujah, and the use of irradiated weapons that still remain sickening the civilian populations of those countries today. In the name of Christian supremacy, all manner of evil deeds have been excused and even honored, and yet every spiritual path on the planet speaks of the oneness of God. It is highly illogical to believe there is more than one creator being, and that the consciousness of that being sent all these beautiful messages for the sake of our evolutionary rising, only to have them ignored or distorted, to indicate any soul is above any other. No soul is above any other, whether you're a king or the poorest man living under a bridge. No soul is above any other to God. It is highly illogical, then, to believe there is more than one creator being. You see, to me, it doesn't even make any sense. If you think about it, the creator being created the planet upon which we live and the universe that we perceive around it, and the inner universe inside of ourselves. If there was a Hindu God, and a Christian God, and a Muslim God, and a Jewish God, and a Sikh God, and whoever I missed. A Buddhist don't really believe in God. They believe in consciousness. But it's basically the same thing. God is consciousness. But if there were more than one, we would have warring alternate universes going on here. And that's not what's happening. We have one universe, one planet, one God, one truth, one set of ethics set down for our behavior. And that's just the reality of it. So, or that the consciousness of the great being sent all these beautiful messages for the sake of our rising, only to have them ignored and distorted to indicate any soul is above any other. It would seem fruitful for every religious leader on the planet to begin to seek the reality of oneness of being for all, one being in the great being. Anything else but the unity of humanity is unacceptable to the one who created all. This does not diminish any religion or tradition. Each is beautiful to the great consciousness as its own attunement of souls, in order that they may best harmonize their will with the will of creation's plan. Killing innocence is sinful to the extreme. In fact, in the eyes of God, it is the very worst abomination on the planet. No reason is good enough for hatred between us. No reason is good enough for killing. We are our brother's keepers. What you do unto them, you do unto me, were the words of Christ. He was not talking just about what was later to be distorted into what is now the many variations of his church. He was talking about all souls. All souls. Christ did not come to create another fundamentalist religion that would be forced upon others as the only true way. Christ came and died to teach us the way of divine love's realization that is found clearly stated in every core text on the planet. All the messengers were sent with the same core message. There is a statement in the Quran, I don't have the reference right now, but I considered it, when I was a Muslim, to be the most essential core statement of the book. And that statement was that we as Muslims, as people of faith, which is what Muslim means, are to honor all the prophets and all the books equally, placing none above the other. And it is my belief that the Quran did not just refer in that to Christianity and Judaism, which are all part of the same Abrahamic faith, but all of the story from the very beginning of time, back to the Vedas, to the Buddha, all of these, to the Tao, all of these messages contain the same core truths. It's just covered over with a whole lot of gobbledygook that's been placed by people who didn't really want to live the truth. They just wanted to talk about it. We cannot call ourselves spiritual beings and stand down while innocents are murdered in our name, or in the name of some other imagined reason for supremacy of spirit. All are one in the one, and the horrific violence occurring all over the world, like what happened to the young man who was lynched last night, especially right now in Delhi, India, where thugs are burning innocent Muslims in their bed, and lynching Muslims is as common as the holy cows that roam the streets eating garbage. Let us all raise our voices against war and injustice. We cannot begin to seek true realization until we eradicate all pride and all hatred from our hearts. All means all. There is nothing outside of the one. So even those we may perceive to be evildoers as our enemies must in the end be loved and embraced by our spirits if we wish to be a part of the consciousness who loves us all. It is the responsibility of all who would call themselves holy to behave with holy ethics. If wrong is being done, do not hide in your homes and ashrams, churches and temples. Do not think your soul can be clear in the eyes of the divine just by meditating and praying and seeking for yourself. Let us all stand for the children of the world, that they might have a future, and a future of peace, a better future than what our history has been. Peace is very possible, but will never be attained through superiority or terrorism. Peace will only be obtained when we join hands as one and stand against the evils that are tearing us apart and destroying our planet home. Amen. Namaskar. In the Nam, Dana Nobis Pachim, Assalamu Alaikum, Shalom, Aum Namama Sivaya. Gandhiji's favorite verse that he molded his life upon, and this is taken from his autobiography, My Experiments with Truth, and it is a verse that I have also molded my life upon, for I am one of his followers. For a simple penny, for a bowl of water, give a goodly meal. For a kindly greeting, bow thou down with zeal. For a simple penny, pay thou back with gold. If your life be rescued, life do not withhold. Thus the words and actions of the wise regard. Every little service tenfold they reward. But the truly noble know all men as one, and return with gladness good for evil done. Have a blessed Sunday. And I hope that this message will reach not only the beautiful Muslims and the beautiful Imam of Delhi, but also the Hindi teachers and the Hindu faithful and the Christian faithful and the Jewish faithful. I hope it reaches everyone, because this is the truth of God's message. To the one. On Facebook, you will find this mission on a page called The Call to the One. Many blessings, and my love is always with all of you. Amen.